What's up, freaks? Welcome back to the best devlog in the Southern Hemisphere!
Get in the car, Morty! Get in the car! Get in the fucking car, Morty! You wanna go like this, eh? Let's go then, bruh.
Alright, but for real, holy shit! That's a lot of views. That's a lot of likes and comments. A lot of subscribers. We really weren't expecting this video to blow up like that, so yeah, thank you. And please, just don't hurt us. Just please, please! So yeah, anyway, let's get into the devlog. If you haven't watched the last one, please just go watch it, and it'll catch you up to speed on what this project is. But yeah, let's have a look at what we've done in the past few weeks, and check out the progress that we've made. So, most of the work that's been done since last time has just been done in Blender. I've done a lot of modeling and creating assets, and I've also been reworking some of the animation rigs for some of the characters, specifically the human characters, just so we've got a bit more control over how we do the animations. So for example, I've set up things like the foot roll control, as well as just like inverse kinematics. Basically just set them up so they're a little bit easier to animate, and we've just got a bit more control over them. And I've pretty much set it up so all the human characters will be using the same rig, and that way we can share the animations across the different human characters, and we don't have to spend time rebuilding the rigs or remaking animations that we don't need to. Obviously, things that have a significantly different body structure or different characters that are a bit more advanced will need their own rigs, but for the generic basic human characters, we'll just use this same rig across all of them. I also wanted to work on making this new enemy type, which is like a drone type enemy. Yeah, he's pretty much just a little flying guy that flies around, shoots you. Just a different enemy type to make it a bit more exciting. But the modeling process was pretty straightforward on this one. I basically went in with no plan in mind. I had no reference to go off, so it was kind of just like freehand modeling, which is kind of fun sometimes, just coming up with something from scratch and just seeing where the process takes you. So yeah, I managed to record a little time lapse of the process, which you can see here. Captured a little bit of the texturing and the UV unwrapping process. I don't know if I captured much of the actual rigging, but it's a pretty simple rig. Just like a root bone, a bone to control the little guns, and the bones for the little wings to make them rotate. But yeah, for those of you who are interested in seeing my process in Blender and how I make the models, here you go. I think it turned out alright in the end. As you can see here, I'm just experimenting with different colors, trying to figure out the look of this thing. I think I settled on a pretty similar look to the other robots, just fitting in with that same color scheme and same sort of weathered look. The way I do texturing is kind of weird. I don't know if it's the normal way to do it, but I basically start off just the basic colors inside the texture paint feature in Blender. Once I've got the colors, I'll paint in some details, and then I'll usually take it into a different program. So I'm using Krita, which is like a free, kind of like a free Photoshop alternative, but it does everything I need it to do. So I'll bring it in there and basically start adding in some more realistic textures, adding in decals and dirt and things like that. And then I basically add this colored noise texture over the whole thing, just with a very low opacity. And I think it just gives it a bit more of a retro look, and also makes all the different textures kind of seem like they're part of the same world. As far as actually setting this up in Unreal and actually getting it moving around and actually acting like an enemy, I haven't really done that yet, because turns out making a flying enemy type is actually a lot harder than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be pretty simple, like just a basic movement function and like aiming and shooting, but yeah, it turns out there's a lot more to it, especially with the pathfinding and trying to figure out how to make it stay at a certain height while flying around. It's just, yeah, it's tricky. So that sort of thing's probably not going to come until one of the next devlogs. But for now, the model is in Unreal and yeah, it looks all right. Apart from that drone, I've made a couple of other different assets just for props and just like level design. Basically, that's going to be one of the biggest challenges, I feel like, is just making all the assets. There's quite a lot of things that we need to make, and I guess that's the good thing about keeping this in that low poly style is, you know, the models themselves don't have to be too complicated, so they don't take too long. But, you know, it's still a time-consuming process, and it's just one of those things that just has to be done, and you just have to put the time in. Toby, who's one of the other boys working on the game with me, has also been doing some modeling, and this is something that he's been working on. And Drew, the other guy, he's also pretty familiar with Blender. But he's been mainly focused on helping with writing and just basically fleshing out the story for the game. So you're probably thinking, oh, you haven't even gone into Unreal, you haven't even done any gameplay progress, you haven't even added any features. Oh, all you've done is make some assets, oh. And yeah, you're kind of right, but that's not entirely true. I have fixed a pretty annoying bug that I saw in the last video. It was this weird animation bug where when you're holding a gun or a weapon and you jump while you're running, it does this like stuttering effect, and yeah, it just looks like poo-poo doo-doo. So yeah, I figured out that the animation blueprint that I had set up was just kind of janky, and it had like systems within systems, and it was just a lot of unnecessary like bloat. So I cleaned that up a little bit and basically restructured it, and now it seems to work fine. So yeah, progress. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really spent too much time in Unreal and haven't really worked on much in terms of gameplay. The main reason for that is I've just been really busy with work, and also I've been working on another project doing composition, doing music for another game. So that's been taking up a bit of time. But I also did want to take a break during this time and just hang out with my family. And I also wanted to visit my friend Toby, who's one of the other guys working on this game with me. But he lives 5 hours away, so you know what that means.
Time to hit the road.
Turn it down. I don't want a bloody copyright strike. So after the long drive, I made it down, and me and Toby, we just went on a little field trip. Look at that view. So we just went to a bunch of interesting locations. I took my little portable microphone with the intention of recording some sounds for the game. Bro, what do you have to say about it?
So when I'd like to thank the fishermen and how they really just put a lot of effort in.
We also took the opportunity to take some photos for textures, just finding interesting things or surfaces. And we took these photos, which I actually managed to make into an asset for the game, which turned out pretty good. But I'd be lying if I told you this field trip was completely productive.
Yeah, that's the name of the, that's the official name, yeah? December to January.
Oh, bloody
Yeah.
hell. I actually heard that the other day.
What's all this shit,
It's all
man?
this fucking shit or is it?
Get the shit out of here. Put a parking lot there.
Hell,
And then you see here, it doesn't really happen outside the southwest region.
Yeah, I see that, mate. Why is this area kind of blacked off, mate?
That's where we are, mate.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Where's the cinema?
Yeah, fucking where are we meant to watch a bloody
Sushi
movie?
Train?
Sushi Train,
Ikea,
Kmart, Target.
Big W. Mega throw! I missed! I'll get you, Tentacool.
JB Hi-Fi right there.
Oh, isn't that where JB Hi-Fi is coming into
I hope so.
Yeah. Go, Pokeball! Yes! Nice! Pokemon trainer.
And I hope they flatten, just pave it out.
Yeah, the parking it off for the
Because it's like, this is
It's
boring. Like, ugh. It's furry.
But it wasn't a complete waste of time. On the break, I did manage to do a little bit of writing for the story, and it's kind of at a point where it's, you know, it's got a beginning, it's got an end. It's just a matter of coming up with different levels and figuring out a way to kind of have the story progress through those levels. But yeah, that's just something we'll figure out along the way as we're making the game. So that's pretty much it in terms of progress for this devlog. I'm sorry if it wasn't as substantial as maybe you'd hoped, but you know, life gets in the way sometimes, so you just kind of have to bloody deal with that. Hopefully the next devlog will have a little bit more in the way of gameplay progress, but yeah, until then, this is all you get, so fucking deal with it. Anyway, thanks again for all the support on the last video. It's pretty crazy. We weren't really expecting the video to do that well, and there's so many comments on it that it's kind of hard to respond to them all. So I'm sorry if we don't reply to all your comments, and yeah, I see you, man. Look, I hate to disappoint you, bro, but it's not gonna come out on mobile. I'm sorry, man. I appreciate the commitment, but it's not gonna happen, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just not in our scope, basically, to be thinking about porting this to any other devices or consoles, especially at this early stage. Maybe one day, I don't know, but yeah, for now, it's just gonna be a PC-only game. And also, by the way, don't get your expectations too high on this game, alright? This is our first project, and we don't really know what we're doing, so it's gonna be a short game. It's not going to be anything crazy, and I just don't want anyone getting expectations too high, and then we just disappoint everyone because it's like, oh, this game's for themselves. But yeah, thanks again for all the comments, and also we did make a Discord server for the game development, so if you're interested in just following along or just joining the crew, you can do so. I'll put a link in the description. But if not, then just subscribe and stay tuned for the next video, which will be coming out one day. Okay, bye.